Hello. I named my channel Susan's Believe It or Not on YouTube because I have a lot of stories in my life that I know sometimes people probably just think are too far-fetched. They think that I might be blowing it out of proportion, or it's weird, or they might think I'm weird, my husband's weird, and sometimes we hold back from sharing these stories simply because there's just people out there that don't really want to accept it. But I decided I'm going to go ahead and start sharing these stories, and it's basically, believe it or not, I have no reason to make up these stories. I'm not going to gain anything by telling them or not telling them. I'm just wanting to share with you just different things in our life that had happened that I can look back and see where God had been in our life. And I love hearing those stories, the God stories. They're not coincidences. I call them Godcidents instead of an accident. It was God who was involved. And this is just a short one. But I look back at it and I just remember how awesome that day was. This is not a big fantastic thing, but it's pretty awesome, very awesome for me. My father had a book called The Memory Book, and it was by Jerry Lucas. And I remember he used to read that book, and it would teach you how to do memory pegging. It was all these systems where you could learn how to memorize. I believe the author of the book memorized the whole New York phone book, the names, addresses, phone numbers, and all of that. And so I remember my father used to have that book laying around the house when I was little, and he really liked it. And I think, maybe as I got to be a teenager, I borrowed that book and then misplaced the book, and then he never had it. And I always felt bad about that, as I got older, that I had done that because I knew he did like that book, and I didn't take care of it, and never got it back. So anyway, I was in my 20s, and I was trying to think of something really special to give him for Father's Day, and I thought, I'm going to give him that book. So I called the bookstore to see if they had it in stock, and they did not. They were going to have to order it, and I believe it was just a few days before Father's Day. So I started trying to look around, and nobody had the book in stock. So there was a little place down from where I worked. It was called the Book Nook, and it was all used books. And I remember on my lunch period, I just thought, well, I'll run in there and see. Now, you have to understand, this Book Nook place was just books everywhere. There was rows and rows of books, but it wasn't like there were any kind of category. They were just, I think when they got a box of books, they just stuck them on a shelf. So they weren't really in categories. So you could spend all day long trying to find a book that you wanted. It was just kind of one of those neat places you could go and just start searching and seeing all kinds of different books that might be interesting. Well, that day I remember pulling into the Book Nook. I was in the parking lot, and I remember I only had 1 hour, and I had to get back to work on time. So I remember just going, Lord, if that book is in there, I just really want to get that for my father, and if it's in there, please just lead me to it. That place is like so many books, so many, just all in jambles, and I don't have time to look through everyone. So if it's there, just please lead me to it. I kid you not. I walked into that store. There were several aisles. I walked in. I thought, go down here. Went to the left about 2 aisles. Walked down to the very end. Turned. There was probably about 5 or 6 shelves. And when I turned and I looked up, it was like the shelf right above my head. And I kid you not, there was that book. The Memory Book by Jerry Lucas. I could not believe, but I believe now because I know God is just so awesome and He'll do those things. But anyway, that was just amazing. That was really amazing, and I was able to give that to my father, and he got to read it for a few more years, and that was just really neat. This is just a short little story. I know you might think it's a coincidence, but there's just no way. There's just no way that if you'd have seen this place, you know it's not a coincidence. God led me to that book because He knew that was a desire of my heart to make my father happy. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it.